Petra mattered because geography hid one of the ancient world's greatest cities within the mountains. Surrounded by rugged sandstone cliffs and accessible mainly through a narrow canyon, Petra occupied one of the most defensible and strategically located sites in the ancient Near East. Geography protected the city while placing it at the crossroads of caravan routes connecting Arabia, Egypt, Syria, and the Mediterranean. Merchants carrying valuable goods naturally converged here, while the surrounding mountains discouraged invasion. Long before armies, kingdoms, or empires recognized its importance, nature had already chosen Petra's location. Ancient trade across Arabia depended on surviving one of the world's harshest environments. Vast deserts, rugged mountains, and scarce water made long-distance travel both dangerous and unpredictable. Merchants carrying frankincense, myrrh, spices, silk, and precious goods needed secure places where caravans could rest, resupply, and exchange merchandise. Petra stood exactly where these regional trade routes converged. Geography concentrated movement through a hidden mountain basin, allowing the city to become one of the wealthiest commercial centers of the ancient world. Unlike most ancient cities built beside rivers or on open plains, Petra remained almost invisible until travelers entered the Sicanero Canyon stretching more than a kilometer between towering cliffs. For much of the journey, visitors could not even see the city ahead. Only after passing through this winding corridor did Petra suddenly emerge from the rock. Geography created a dramatic natural gateway that combined security, surprise, and control of access, making Petra unlike any other major city of antiquity. The Siq was Petra's greatest natural defense. In many places, the canyon narrows to only a few meters wide, while its sandstone walls rise more than 80 meters above the valley floor. Every merchant, traveler, or army approaching Petra had to move through this confined passage before reaching the city. A relatively small defending force could monitor or block access with remarkable efficiency. Beyond the Siq, the narrow canyon suddenly opens into a broad mountain basin where the Nabateans built their capital. High cliffs surrounded much of the settlement, creating a naturally enclosed landscape that offered both protection and space for urban growth. Within this sheltered basin, the Nabateans constructed temples, markets, homes, tombs, and public buildings. Petra stood in an arid region where permanent rivers were virtually non-existent and rainfall was highly seasonal. Survival depended on capturing every possible drop of water. The Nabateans engineered an extraordinary network of channels, dams, reservoirs, rock-cut cisterns, and pipelines that collected flash floods and seasonal rainwater from the surrounding mountains. This sophisticated hydraulic system supplied drinking water, supported agriculture, and sustained a large urban population. Petra occupied one of the most strategic positions in the ancient Near East. Caravan routes from southern Arabia carrying incense and spices converged here before continuing toward Egypt, Damascus, Gaza, and the Mediterranean coast. Rather than controlling a single road, Petra stood at the intersection of several long-distance trade networks. Petra's history can be understood through three remarkable geographic advantages: a hidden entrance, advanced water management, and a strategic position on international caravan routes. The Siq protected the city from attack while controlling movement into the basin. Ingenious hydraulic engineering made permanent settlement possible despite the harsh desert environment. Meanwhile, caravan routes linked Petra with Arabia, Egypt, the Levant, and the Mediterranean world. Together, these geographic factors transformed an isolated mountain valley into one of the richest and most influential trading capitals of the ancient world. Some cities built walls. Petra hid behind mountains. For ancient travelers, reaching Petra meant passing through the Sicanero Canyon carved deep into sandstone cliffs. There was no easier way into the city. After more than a kilometer inside the winding canyon, Petra suddenly appeared. Every merchant, visitor, and army entered through the same dramatic gateway, giving the Nabateans complete control over access. The Sic was more than a beautiful canyon. It was Petra's first line of defense. Geography concentrated movement into a single narrow passage, protecting one of the ancient world's richest caravan cities without the need for massive walls. A city cannot survive without water. Petra survived where almost none existed. The mountains around Petra received only seasonal rainfall. Most streams remained dry for much of the year, while sudden flash floods could become destructive. The Nabateans transformed this harsh environment through engineering. They carved channels into the cliffs, built dams and reservoirs, and collected precious rainwater before it disappeared into the desert. Petra became a thriving city not because the desert provided water, but because its people mastered the landscape. Geography created the challenge, while engineering made permanent settlement possible. Some cities grew beside rivers. Petra grew where desert roads met. For caravans crossing Arabia, mountains and deserts restricted movement. Travelers naturally followed valleys and passes where water and shelter could be found. Petra stood where routes from southern Arabia, Egypt, Damascus, and the Mediterranean converged. Merchants exchanged incense, spices, silk, textiles, and precious goods before continuing their journeys. Petra became wealthy because geography concentrated long-distance trade into one mountain basin. The city controlled movement between Arabia and the Mediterranean, turning desert routes into one of the ancient world's richest commercial networks. Most ancient cities were built with stone. Petra was carved into it. The mountains around Petra consist of relatively soft sandstone. Unlike hard granite or limestone, this rock could be carved with remarkable precision using ancient tools. Instead of transporting massive blocks, the Nabateans carved temples, tombs, and monuments directly into the cliffs. The famous treasury is not a separate building, it is part of the mountain itself. Petra's architecture was shaped by geology. The sandstone cliffs provided both the material and the canvas for an entire city. Geography influenced not only where Petra was built, but also how it was built, creating one of the world's most extraordinary landscapes. Petra flourished because geography brought together protection, water, and trade in a way few places on Earth could match. A narrow canyon limited access and strengthened defense without massive city walls. Ingenious hydraulic engineering captured scarce rainfall and sustained a thriving urban population in the middle of the desert. Caravan routes carrying incense, spices, silk, and luxury goods converged at this strategic crossroads between Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. Geography shaped every aspect of Petra's success, from where people could travel, to where they could survive, to where wealth naturally accumulated. Hidden within the mountains, Petra became one of history's greatest examples of how geography can create both security and prosperity.